So as I say, kick-off less than 10 minutes away. We should hear from both of the men in charge this evening. Steve Bennett speaking to Chris Roberts, and first of all, Brian Sorensen, the Everton manager.
Brian, Hannah Blundell starts for you tonight. What does her experience bring to your team?
Yeah, a lot of experience, as you say, and a player that's been in WSL for years and done really well. And yeah, she's back. She looks really good. So we're really excited to see her in our team.
Yet to get a home league win here at Goodison Park. How important is it to get that tonight?
I can tell you that we will do absolutely everything, put everything out there in terms of trying to get that first win. We are so eager to do it.
For you personally, 100 games in charge, how proud is that for you to be at the helm of this great club for that long?
Yeah, I just heard so. Really, yeah, I'm proud. It's been a long 3.5 years, and yeah, it's been a journey. And hopefully, we can just end it off with a win tonight. That'll be nice.
And just a note on Brighton, they're a team not to be underestimated. They'll be a well-drilled outfit, won't they?
Yeah, no, I think they're really good. All the players are quality, and as it is in this league, like it's a small margin, so we have to get it on our side. And we know the threats that they possess, so defensively we need to be at our best.
Chris, not an easy place to come to, as you know. How is it to be back?
Yeah, of course, nice to be back. Good memories here, and hopefully leave with some more good memories tonight. We know it's going to be a tough test. Everton are a really good team, tactically, technically very good, but we're prepared and we're looking forward to it.
How challenging has the preparation been without Dario being here?
Yeah, on some levels it can be challenging because there's been a change, but we've very much worked as a team, as staff, as players. The way we play, the way we prepare, it's not changed. So it's been a little bit different just from the sense that he's not been here, but the preparation's been spot on and we're ready to go.
Same back four as the last time out in the league. How important is that consistency for your team?
Yeah, consistency is important, but we also have players that can come in tonight who are champing at the bit to come in. We've got a lot of top defenders in the team. We take pride in the way we defend. And yeah, of course, it's disappointing for those who aren't starting, but the back four have done well. And yeah, if we need to make changes, we've got good players to bring in.
No Fran, unfortunately, today. What kind of a loss is she? Yeah,
of course. When Fran's out the team, it is a loss in terms of having that quality from her. But as a team, we've played games without Fran in the past, and yeah, we've got more than enough talent and firepower on the pitch tonight to go and get the win.
Good to hear from Brian Sorensen and Chris Roberts there. And as he mentioned, I'm sure Dario Vidicic, the Brighton manager, currently on leave for family reasons. So Chris Roberts has stepped up to the plate to take charge of Brighton tonight and in their FA Cup match, which they won last weekend. One team 2-0 at home to Nottingham Forest. Everton also went through in the FA Cup, beating West Brom, third tier West Brom 5-0, and setting up a Merseyside derby in the next round of the Cup. But it's back to WSL action for both of these two teams. It's definitely a night to pull the hood up over your head and get that collar nice and tight, because it looks pretty cold in Merseyside, that's for sure. And as I say, a special evening for Chris Roberts. Hope he picked the right dugout to walk to. He will know this setup well, although of course when he was in charge of Everton and assistant boss here, Everton women wouldn't have been playing that often at Goodison. Nice to see supporters young and old. And alongside me in the commentary box, Molly May-Sharp, Crystal Palace forward. And Molly, would it be fair to say maybe both of these teams underperforming this season? Certainly Brighton, I think, having finished 5th last season, it feels like they've just dipped a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both teams will be going out tonight and expecting their team to come home with the 3 points. So I think it's going to be a tight game. I think both teams have a lot to go at, both forward and both play defensively very well. So I think it's going to be a really good test for both teams tonight.
And one thing about the teams we should pick up on is that Fran Kirby out injured. How big a blow is that for Brighton?
Yeah, massive. The things that Fran brings, not only on the pitch but off the pitch, she brings the team together, and I think the girls will miss it tonight. But they've got a strong team at Brighton, so they're hoping that they can, do her proud and hopefully take the 3 points back down south.
A good reception as both of the teams enter the field. Yeah, Fran Kirby misses out. We'll show you the team lineup shortly, but some Brighton fans have made the journey as well, maybe having a weekend in Liverpool. The officials there in the centre, referee Oliver Mackey. in terms of their last WSL matches. Brighton lost 2-1 at Aston Villa nearly a fortnight ago. Everton lost 2-0 at Man City. Spent most of the game defending, as you'd expect, managed just a solitary shot on target. But Everton did have a goal disallowed against Man City, which they felt very aggrieved about. Again, that was nearly 2 weeks ago. So here is the Everton lineup this evening. 3 changes from that defeat at Man City. In come Hannah Blundell, Hikaru Kitagawa, who we expect to slot in at centre-back, and Yuka Mimiki almost certainly up front through the centre. Katja Snoys, Karen Holmgaard are both injured, and Maz Pacheco drops to the bench. There is Hannah Blundell, on loan since Manchester United, a hugely experienced player, Molly.
Yeah, absolutely. Great experiences with Manchester United, and brilliant to see her back after giving birth as well. So that's a massive part of the women's game as well. So I think having her at Everton for them is going to give them a massive boost. And she's not only brilliant defensively, but going forward, she's going to be a massive help down that left-hand side as well.
Hannah Blundell was born on the south coast in Eastbourne. She actually had a spell on the books at Brighton, albeit as a child. And in terms of the Brighton lineup this evening, it's also 3 changes for the Seagulls from their last WSL match. As I say, a 2-1 defeat at Aston Villa. In come the goalkeeper Chamaka Nadozi, Jelena Sankovic wearing number 10, and Nadina Nordam. They replace Bagley Sunoda, who is on the bench there, number 29. Sunoda might feel a little bit aggrieved, having scored the Brighton goal against Aston Villa. And as we've discussed, Fran Kirby not involved at all tonight because of injury. This is Nadina Nordam, 27 years old, Dutch midfielder, joined almost exactly a year ago after 6 years playing in her native Netherlands. Nice friendly greeting between the 2 head coaches. And do you feel one of these teams will try and take the kind of, impetus straight away? Will one of the teams be on the front foot, do you think, or will both be at it right from the start?
I think both teams are going to be going at each other, I really do, but I do think Everton have a point to prove tonight, not won at Goodison Park just yet, and that's, momentous for Everton, women as a club, and in the whole of women's football for them to have this ground. So I think they need to get that first win under the belt, and this will be a massive day to do it if they can.
And Everton have won just 1 of their last 5 WSL home games against Brighton. So the omen's not particularly good for the home side as we get underway. Everton in their all-blue kit, attacking from right to left, and Brighton in their changed mauve, lilac, would you say? Lilac, maybe.
Yeah, let's go with lilac.
And it is Brighton who have possession from the kickoff. In. Free kick given for an early high boot, I think it was. Not particularly high, but enough for referee Mackie to give a free kick. And here is Kiko Seike putting the ball into the Everton area nice and early. Toffees come away with it. Nice direct ball picked up by Claire Wheeler, the skipper. Wheeler does well to keep the ball in, but they have to come backwards to Hayashi, who scored a great goal here against Arsenal that I was commentating on just before Christmas. Fernandez to Kitagawa, and Wheeler on it goes towards Vignola. Well, we know what she can do, an incredibly dangerous player if you give her space. Spanish youth international.
Yeah, Vignola did really well to get it on her right foot there, just strikes through the ball and leans back slightly, but a good effort, to get a shot off early for Everton, give themselves a little boost, definitely.
Nadozi back between the sticks for Brighton. Experienced player, only 25 years old, but Lots of experience for club and country. Was named the best female goalkeeper in Africa 3 years running. Dozy back in possession to Venegas. Brighton happy to knock the ball around from the back. This is Manami. You can hear the Brighton supporters at the moment in the background, those who have made the trip north, in good voice. Clever looking ball towards Haley, but well cleared up by the Everton defence. Yes, Brighton finished 5th in the WSL last season. Best of the rest, if you like, behind the top 4. But they are 8 points off Manchester United in 5th place at the moment. 2 wins in a row were followed by 2 defeats in a row. So their form has been up and down. Comes the Everton throw, but it's given away. And Manami should clear up with Venegas next to her. Here's Nordam. Nordam out to Seike. Confident start this from Brighton. Lovely touch from Seike. Can she get the cross in? Can beat the first defender at the near post. But nice build-up play from the visitors. And here's Vignola again. Where's Ornella on her shirt? Fernandez in her own area. Kitagawa playing on the left of this back 4 for Everton. Asking a lot of Vignola. Brighton looking to get the ball up front nice and quickly, and they win a free kick. It's been a positive start from Brighton, hasn't it, Molly?
It has, yeah. They're having good possession of the ball. I think Seike is quite important going on that right-hand side. She can put an early ball in with the right foot, or she's happy to go past, you know, the left back and put a ball in. It's just missing that first person on the post to get the ball into the 6-yard box.
That was a tackle in there by Ruby Mason. Only Una Siren of West Ham has recorded more tackles this season in the WSL than the Everton centre-back. At the moment, it looks like Mace will be busy again this evening. Ball comes right across the penalty area. Kitagawa actually deals with that nicely, virtually on the deck herself there, falling backwards. But Brighton regain possession. Sankovic to Venegas. Molly Slagers is well advanced as well. And again, it's good build-up play from Brighton and Hove Albion. Can't quite get the ball to Haley. But it's backs to the wall at the moment for Everton in these first 6 minutes.
Yeah, Everton are defending so deeply. It's just letting Brighton win it back and come on and just have a lot of pressure on them just at the moment.
Everton rescued by the offside flag. Yeah, Everton certainly need a confidence-boosting performance and a result if they can find one. Vignola, Everton's top scorer at the moment with 4 goals. But they're without Gargo and Schnois this evening, who were just behind Vignola in the goal-scoring rankings. Back to Courtney Brosnan in the Everton goal. towards Tony Payne, but Venegas is stronger. Here comes Charlize Rule, playing right back this evening for Brighton. Minami. Sankovic playing a bit deeper than I was expecting, but picking the ball up nicely. She's going to act as her number suggests, the number 10, the playmaker, but from quite a deep position at the moment, it looks like. And Ollie Slagers wins a throw-in on that far side.
Yeah, the thing about Brighton's midfield is they're so interchangeable. You know, Simons or not, Hayashi can drop in, so it's really easy for them to just change positions, and some of them might get a little bit higher and they can drop in for each other as well. So it becomes really hard for the Everton midfield to get hold of a player and mark them in that case.
Brighton are dominating possession at the moment. Here comes Rule. Nordam outside her, and Seike even wider. Seike back to her compatriot Minami. Back to Seike. We know that she has a real burst of pace, does the Japanese star. Nearly 200 appearances for Urawa Reds in her homeland before joining Brighton in 2024. Kiko Seike. Moment Brighton being given time and space to just knock the ball around. Concerning if you are an Everton fan, if you're Brian Sorensen on that touchline on the far side. Nice turn in there from Maisie Simons, the Brighton skipper, out wide towards Ollie Slagers. Brian Sorensen, you can hear in the background, giving his team instructions, but they're being given the runaround at the moment. Early days, still just about inside the first 10 minutes. Nicely done by Sankovic. Close control is first class at the moment from the Brighton midfielders. Simons out to Venegas. As Molly was saying, look how deep Everton are in comparison to Brighton. The Brighton backline virtually on the halfway line as the long ball heads towards Seike. Ball goes under the foot of Nordam, and Claire Wheeler should tidy up. So Everton need to get their foot on the ball a bit here, which I think is what Ruby Mace is trying to say. Just calm down and let's have some time in possession with Fernandez. To Hayashi. That's careless, isn't it? So Everton cheaply giving the ball away. It was Kitagawa who completely miscued that one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste, that one, for Everton. I think they had good build up there. Hayashi did well to get hold of it and play it wide, but maybe just coming out and trying to switch it to get the Brighton defence kind of moving from one side to another, and then the gaps then will begin to start to open up.
Everton win back possession and they give it straight back again. That's been the story of the first 11 minutes or so of this match, as Simons wins a free kick. You must have played in matches, Molly, where you've probably been on both sides of this coin, where you've been on a team that have had all of the possession and been on a team that spent a lot of time chasing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, being in the WSL last year, it's quite tough for us to have a lot of possession in the league. I mean, it's a top league, but when you are chasing for such a long time, when you do get hold of the ball, it is really important to be able to keep it and try and run that team a little bit and make them tired.
And I guess it's difficult if you are the team just chasing the ball for a lot of the time. When you do get the ball, I guess it's very difficult to just stay patient and calm and not just try something a bit too eager.
Absolutely, because you're already so tired from chasing. You know, you're mentally tired as well from defending and moving side to side. So when you do get the ball, it's obviously quite exciting, and you want to go and score as a player. You want to be, you know, the one that makes a good pass or the one to score, so it is difficult.
Well, Everton certainly having a difficult time at the moment. Brighton win a corner through Rosa Kafaji, Swedish forward on a season-long loan from Arsenal. Parents from Iraq. And now a set-piece opportunity for Brighton and Hove Albion. Everton with more defending to do here. Corner played short. It's going to be crossed in now. It's going to be headed behind by, I think, Fernandez for another corner.
And them short corners can be really dangerous. If Everton are only sending one player out, that the 2v1 becomes so dangerous in that situation.
And that was a cross shot, really, wasn't it? It was one of those where on another day, if nobody touches that, it goes creeping inside the far post. Second corner in quick succession for Brighton. They go for the short routine again. Kafaji. Sankovic's cross was blocked. Everton demanding an offside flag to go up, but it doesn't happen. And Everton should clear here, but that's a great tackle. Superb piece of play from Simons. She's just hobbling a bit, Simons, after making that challenge. We'll keep an eye on that as Everton go direct towards Payne, but Nadozi, good goalkeeping, was alive to the danger.
Yeah, really good goalkeeping from Nadozi there. She was at the edge of a box ready for a ball to come in, and she's come out quite far, to be fair to her, so really good keeping.
Nadozi left Paris FC last summer and went out on a high, helped them win a trophy by saving 2 penalties in a penalty shootout. It was against their fierce rivals Paris Saint-Germain as well, for good measure. Nadozi wearing that vibrant orange kit tonight. Mace does well again. Brighton are just winning all these little tussles across the pitch, all the second balls. They look full of confidence, actually, to Brighton. Here's Sankovic. Dinked ball, really clever pass, but, well, we credited Nadozi with some quick thinking just a few moments ago. That was good goalkeeping again by Brosnan this time.
Yeah, it was. I actually thought it was quite a good ball over, to be fair, to say it was a straight ball and a straight run, but just gets away from her slightly, but good goalkeeping from Brosnan there.
Well, here's a stat to back up what our own eyes are telling us. Look at that, passes completed. Nearly 3 times the number of passes completed so far by Brighton. And that is the tail of the tape, no doubt about it so far. Everton not really using the ball very well at all. But still, only 15 minutes gone, plenty of time for things to change around. And importantly, scoreline still 0-0. If you're just joining us. Kitagawa won't reach that, though.
Yeah, in that situation, I think Hayashi needs to be kind of looking to switch it and come out the other side, because there's just no space down that left-hand side there.
So it's a bit like a training ground exercise at the moment, attack versus defence. And no pressure being put on Nadozi as she's come right out of her area. Goes long towards Seike, good control under pressure from the Japanese international, but Everton win the ball. Wheeler to Kitagawa. Back to Wheeler. It was Mamiki actually who had dropped deep for Everton. Here's Kitagawa. This is better. Mamiki looking for the chasing Payne. Nadozi's come out of her goal again, but sure enough, the flag goes up. I imagine that was against Rosa van Hall rather than Tony Payne. I tell a lie, Payne was the furthest forward. That looks pretty tight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look tight, and Payne was on it, and it was 2v1 there, so I think Sorensen might be a little bit annoyed about that one.
45 years old, the Dane, in charge since the summer of 2022. Here's Mamiki. Ruby Mace across to Fernandez. Really, it doesn't matter too much about territory at the moment. If Everton can just keep the ball for a couple of minutes and just string some passes together, that will help the whole team. Fernandez decides to stride forward, but again it's maybe just a little bit anxious. They would have been better served just holding on to the ball.
Yeah, I think Fernandez there has obviously seen something down this left-hand side, and it does seem like Everton are using the left-hand side more than the right-hand side, but I think they need to move Brighton first before they then play that through ball, because Brighton has set, they're in place, so it's not really getting over the defence very well in that situation.
It's 5 home defeats in a row in the WSL for Everton before tonight. That's their longest ever streak in this competition, a streak they do not want to continue. Here's Rule. Sankovic goes for the back heel. That's another stat that visually tells the story. Not much time with the ball spent in the Brighton area, not even the Brighton half, to be honest.
No, absolutely, and Brighton are so happy just to play it to each other's feet. They're not worried if you've got pressure, which is just shows how much they trust each other, which is so important.
Well, Haley's gone down there, but referee Oliver Mackey says no free kick. Haley had done well, showing good strength to take the ball down. Just need to run off a knock. Courtney Brosnan, Everton's goalkeeper, born in New Jersey, USA, of Irish descent. Over 50 caps for the Republic of Ireland. Over 4 years with the Toffees now, Brosnan. Wheeler across to Mace. Nice ball from Mace to Van Hall. This is better. Vignola. That's okay, it doesn't matter that it's gone back to the keeper. Again, just build some possession here around the 20-minute mark. Free kick awarded. Van Hall was trying to give it back there, playing the 1-2, and did play it back, and the receiver wasn't there, having been brought down.
Yeah, good play from Everton. I think having Ruby Mace obviously as a centre-back now, she was primarily a midfielder for a really long time. She's so comfortable with the ball at her feet, so she's happy to drive in, which pushes Hannah Blundell then up the pitch, and all the Everton players then they know they can get higher, so they're able to keep possession a little bit better higher up the pitch, which is, you know, Ruby Mace does that so well.
61% possession so far for the away side. And we're at the halfway point nearly of the first half. Everton 0, Brighton 0 at Goodison Park. Oh, Mickey's just taken an awkward one in the face there. Completely accidental, but I think she's fallen into, I think maybe Sankovic's hip. And that will be a sore one.
Yeah, it wasn't a great pass from Tony Payne in there. Mimiki's just, well, got one to the nose there, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's Ollie Slager she falls into. Yeah, no, she'll need to be patched up. Bit of magic sponge.
Yep.
And she'll be okay, I'm sure. But it's a chance for, well, both, assistant head coach, we should say, Chris Roberts, and Brian Sorensen as well, to give some information to their players. Certainly, I don't think Chris Roberts will be changing anything. I mean, Brian Sorensen is such a cool customer, isn't he? He's not one to rant and rave on the touchline. He's not saying a huge amount over there either.
Yeah, absolutely. When we played against him, he was so calm and collected on the sideline, and he never really gets annoyed unless something's really going wrong for his side, and nothing's going particularly wrong at the moment. It's just Brighton are having a lot of possession, but I do feel like Everton have absorbed it and been smart about defending and being able to get the ball out. Maybe he's saying, you know, from Brighton's corners, we need to double up on the short corner because that did cause them a couple of problems, but I think he'll tell his players to carry on getting the ball, getting in possession and playing them long balls over to Payne, because ultimately she is so fast. So one through ball and she'll be on the end of it.
Yuka Mimiki, you can see there, is sitting up. They're just obviously checking that everything is okay in terms of her neck. But I mentioned about Courtney Brosnan being born in the USA. So is Yuka Mimiki. She was born in New York to Japanese parents and joined Everton this summer. Had a good season and a half with Leicester City. And there are lots of really top quality Japanese internationals across the WSL. Most of them have had great success internationally and are now spread out all across Europe for their club football. Mimiki back on her feet, and I'm sure she'll be okay to carry on, which we're pleased to see, and I'm sure the Everton fans will be relieved to see Mimiki coming back on, because they need players like her out on the pitch. Players who can just give a creative spark and try something different. But Brighton in control so far on this Friday night. So we're underway again. Mimiki will come back onto the pitch in a few moments' time. And possession is with Fernandez across to Mace. And again, as Molly was saying, Mace just comes to, well, offers herself for possession. She's the player that they'll look to at the back there. So comfortable on the ball. Here's Payne. Mimiki outside her. Tony Payne towards the area. Ball comes in. It's going to go all the way past everybody. That's a shame for Everton, because they had a bit of momentum there.
Yeah, Payne does well to get the ball in. Obviously, it's fired over a little bit, but I think in that situation you haven't really got many players in the box. You know, there's two at best. So is it worth coming back round and getting more bodies forward to create a better goal-scoring opportunity than across the back post, maybe?
And as you mentioned, she's obviously got the pace. It was almost a case there where she could have actually taken on her marker and actually got into the area herself.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's essential for her. That's one of the main parts of her game. Don't get me wrong, she's technically very good, but she's probably the fastest player on the pitch. So I think Everton really need to utilise that and use that to their advantage on this big pitch as well.
Are you ready to step off, Tony? Okay, tidy up.
Molly Slagers on that far side. It was actually Ruby Mace that put the ball out for a Brighton throw in there. Oh, that's good. Really good play by Madison Haley. She's taken a nasty looking knock. The referee did glance over. He's had a couple of looks actually across to Haley and decided to play on, but I think all concerned realised that Haley took quite a nasty one there. A really good hold-up play, wasn't it, from Haley?
Yeah, I think it was Hayashi, wasn't it, that went into it, but Haley does so well to get that first touch. Yeah, and Hayashi just comes clattering into her, but as a striker, that's what you want. You want her to get them nicks on the ball and win fouls or, you know, up, back and throughs for your team.
Hayashi may be a bit fortunate there to escape a yellow, because she was very late. There was nothing malicious about it, but in fact there is the booking. Well, that feels about right, doesn't it, Molly?
Yeah, it was very similar to the Olivia Smith one on Wednesday where she ended up getting sent off, so I do think it's a yellow card.
Away we go again, and Venegas goes long looking for Haley, who goes down. Mace was with her. No great appeal from Haley or the Brighton players. Confirmation there that Hayashi didn't pick up the yellow card from the referee for the challenge on Haley. And this time, Van Hall unhappy that a free kick is given against her. She felt she got the ball here. Let's take a closer look.
I think she does get the ball, don't get me wrong, but I think she may just get the player slightly before she gets the ball. But it's Everton again playing into really tight areas down the wings where Brighton are just jumping on it, and that is obviously their pressing trigger, the right and the left back.
So a free kick on that far side. You can see everyone lined up just outside the penalty area. Low trajectory on that free kick. Fell to Sankovic and now to Rule. And Rule wins the corner off Ruby Mace. Boy, is Mace busy at the moment in these first 27 minutes.
She is. She's a top player for Everton, so I'm not surprised, but I think they need to try and stop Brighton attacking a little bit more because she is having to defend quite a lot, Ruby Mason there.
So another corner for Brighton. Will they go short again? Or will they pump this one into the area? Ollie Slagers, left-footed, doesn't beat the near post. Free kick this time to Everton, Ruby Mace fouled. And that will give Everton a bit of a breather.
And with that one, I'm not sure why they haven't gone short again, because it did work the first couple of times they did it, and Everton didn't put an extra player on the ball, so it would have been a 2v1 again, but, you know, it's worth trying something different, but you've got to miss that first player on the post.
There's lots of player turnover at Brighton last summer. Nikita Paris, one of those leaving. But some astute signings have been made as well. The slip from Fernandez has put Kitagawa in trouble. Here's Seike. Oh, no power at all on that shot.
She just didn't get a hold of it, did she, Seike? I think she can do better than that with her left foot. And I think she thought she was under a bit more pressure than what she actually was. It's good from Haley to try and win it back there.
Yeah, she'd want that one back again, wouldn't she, Seike, to get a proper connection on it.
She probably didn't want to see it again.
Everton, the ball being knocked forward towards Payne, but that's calm defending from Minami. Slagers back to Venegas. Rule to Seike. And this is the difference, isn't it? In general, when Brighton have had the ball, they have strung together a number of passes and built up a head of steam. Everton just haven't really created anything so far, and Tony Payne all the way back there doing some defensive work. You think back to that incredible Everton win against Chelsea at the start of December. They put an end to Chelsea's record-breaking 34-match unbeaten run, and Chelsea had 80% possession that night. I think it was, I had to double-check this because I couldn't believe it, but it was Chelsea had 28 shots against Everton, 61 touches in Everton's box and 18 corners, and they couldn't find an equaliser. So it just goes to show that there are lots of different ways to win a football match.
No, absolutely, and I think it's so important now to see the bridge being gapped between, you know, them giants of the WSL. Anyone can beat anyone, and it just shows when Everton got that 1-0 win, that to keep a clean sheet against Chelsea as well is one of the most difficult things to do in the WSL, so fair play to Everton for getting that result.
While it's still 0-0 like this, they'll know that just nicking a goal would be enough, potentially, for a much-needed morale-boosting win. So there won't be any sense of panic amongst the Everton ranks at the moment, despite the fact that they're not seeing a great deal of the ball. This is kind of what they're used to. Minami to Charlize Rule and up to Seike. Nordam back to Sankovic. This is good again from Brighton. Into the area. Ball needs to come across, but it's run out over the byline for an Everton goal kick. Looked like they were building something nice there.
Yeah, I think it was Sankovic, wasn't it? I don't know why she's not swung it in with her left foot. I think here just put it across the box, because if you're putting it in between the keeper and the defender, you know, it might go in as off an own goal, it might get a deflection. But yeah, it was a shame. I think it was actually Kafahi, wasn't it, who got on the end of it, but I think she just should have swung her left foot at it and got it in the box. Instead, she tried taking an extra step, but shame for Brighton there.
I mean, you often play out on the wing. I'm watching Seike pick up the ball a few times, and I've been kind of willing her to take the full back on and try and run with the ball a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, speaking as a winger, I think you have to get at your player early in the game so that they then drop off, and then you've got the space to play. But Seike is so good on the ball. Like I said before, she can cross it, or she can take that touch and put a really good cross in. We haven't really seen her take on the player just as of yet.
Yeah, it'd be Seike against Kitagawa on this near side, so they'll know each other very well.
Maybe that's what's holding her back.
Could well be. Kafaji loses out to Hayashi. Everton giving the crowd just something to get behind here. Hayashi. Nicely done. Ball across from Vignola, deflected behind for a corner. Now then, is this a chance for Everton to get a foothold, a proper foothold in this match? Maybe even the lead. We shall see.
Yeah, set pieces are so important, obviously defending them, but also this will be probably one of Everton's best chances so far. So for them to get a head on it, or, you know, deflection on this, so important. Brighton have to hold their own in here, defend it well.
You can see Fernandez and Ruby Mace right there in the face of the goalkeeper. Corner comes in. Nice delivery, headed away by Brighton as far as Hayashi. Mamiki will get it back. Lovely bit of skill into the area. Mamiki. Oh, two Brighton players go into that challenge. Is that Haley again in the wars, or is that... I think it is. Madison Haley has had a rough old evening, tackled by her own player there in her own area, but Brighton repel the Everton attack, and again. And this is the best period of pressure from Everton that we've seen in the opening 35 minutes. Now you can see they've narrowed that gap a bit in terms of possession in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Tony Payne now. Bursting into the area. Cross comes in. Oh my goodness, that was the moment maybe for Everton. Kitagawa diving in to try and get a touch on that. Great play by Tony Payne. She did there what we were asking her to do about 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely, she played to her strengths there up against Ola Slagers, didn't she? And she puts a really, really teasing ball in that 6-yard box, in between the defence and the keeper as well. And Mamiki just couldn't get that boot on it, could she? Oh, is it Hayashi in there?
Kitagawa at the back post, yeah, and there's Charlize Rule, who was the coolest cucumber on the pitch. I'm not actually convinced she knew just how close Kitagawa was going to get to that.
No, and it's unfortunate for Kitagawa. She got all the way up the pitch as well and just couldn't get that boot on it in the end.
Best moment of the half for Everton, and in fairness, the closest either side have come to scoring, because for all of Brighton's possession, it's not like they've been creating chances and having shots on target. I think that weak effort from Seike was the only shot on target from Brighton so far. So that just goes to show, if Everton hang in there and keep it 0-0, they've always got a chance to grab one at the other end. Wheeler to Mace. Less than 10 minutes to go until half-time, plus a bit of added time as well for a couple of injuries we've had. Mickey looking for Vignola. Yeah, I'd love to know if Charlize Rule knew just how quickly Kitagawa was charging in on that ball, because she looked incredibly cool and calm.
She always does, to be fair.
It's a poor one from Nadosi. And here's Van Hall. Van Hall, bit of space maybe. Wow, an important toe in there in the end from Olislargers, puts it behind for an Everton corner, and Brighton are just rocking a little bit here.
Yeah, and Van Hool just couldn't get it out of her feet there, could she, to take the shot on, tries to give it to Payne, and good defending in the end.
Payne would have been facing the wrong way, but it was an important touch from Olislargers. It has taken it behind, though, for this Everton corner. Yuka Mamiki will take the set piece, aiming no doubt for the likes of Fernandez there. Good delivery again. Nadosi nowhere really. Brighton just living a bit dangerously in the last few minutes.
Yeah, Nadosi there, you know, we heard the shout from her saying keepers, so as a defender then you expect your keeper to come through, whoever it is, her own team or the opposite team, to claim that ball.
Well, an encouraging last few minutes, maybe an encouraging end to this first half for the home team, being cheered on by a decent crowd on this Friday night at Goodison Park. They've got Merseyside derby to look forward to in the next round of the Women's FA Cup. That will be in around about a month's time. And Everton just looking a little bit more confident. Here's Payne with the bright orange boots. Not seen too much of Hannah Blundell. On loan from Manchester United, playing right back this evening for Everton. Ball given away by Fernandez to Kiko Seke. Can she find a teammate? She can, and there's the opener. And it's Stankovic with the goal for Brighton. They've had a difficult few minutes repelling Everton pressure, but you have to say that's a goal that Brighton deserve on this first half performance. Made by Seke, scored by Stankovic, and it's Everton 0, Brighton 1.
Absolutely, and I think Stankovic has a lot to thank Seke for there. Does so well pressing the ball here. Kiko Seke is able to get it, touch it, and then plays a perfectly weighted pass into Stankovic, who can't really miss from there, but brilliant play from Brighton and great pressing from Seke there.
How much blame, if any, would you attach to Fernandez there? Is it more a case of Seke's pressing?
Yeah, I think Seke's pressing's there is really good, her approach, the way that she gets to the ball, but maybe Fernandez sees her coming and just gets rid instead of trying to take a touch round her, but take nothing away from that press, and good finish from Stankovic in the end.
The Serbian international on the score sheet. Had a couple of years with Chelsea, then joined Brighton in 2024. The ball did come off an Everton player last, but it's definitely Stankovic's goal, no doubt about that. And it's Everton 0, Brighton 1, approaching half-time. And that's a body blow for Everton, because they had just a few good minutes, haven't they?
Absolutely, and you know, as a player who's played in the WSL, to have a goal scored on you just before half-time when it's, you know, going to 1-0 is so tough, because you go in at half-time and you have to regroup quickly. But what a perfect time for Brighton to score a goal, so they can get in happy at half-time, get some comms from the manager, and hope they will want to come out firing in the second half.
I tell you what, Madison Haley is going to have a few ice packs at half-time, because she has been bumped and barged all over the pitch, went down again. Just there, referee played on. Oh, that's a heavy touch from Sankovic, the goal scorer, and she knows it.
Great run from the midfield, though.
Yeah.
Really good defence splitting run from Sankovic, and like we spoke about at the start, Brighton are able to do that with their midfield free. They're able to make them runs through the defence, even through midfield, and it's so difficult for the Everton players to track.
Well, Everton definitely need to keep it to just 1-0 if they can at half-time. There you can see just the 2 shots on target in the match, both from Brighton, one of them their goal, of course. Wheeler to Van Hall. Tony Payne asked to chase that one. Now, will she just head straight for goal here? Tony Payne, ball comes across, and again evades everybody.
Another brilliant ball from Tony Payne there. She uses her speed again. All it is a touch towards the defender, and then a straight touch to go past her, and it's a ball straight across the 6-yard box, and that's 2 now, and I think the Everton players need to be just doing a little bit better to get on the end of it, because that is a perfect ball.
Another player on show tonight, born in the USA, in Birmingham, Alabama, to Nigerian parents. Part of the Nigeria squad that won the Women's African Cup of Nations in 2024. With a bit less drama, I think, than the men's AFCON final the other night.
I should hope so.
So just a couple of minutes to go in this first half. Everton have had flashes all within the last sort of 10-15 minutes or so. But they've shown us that they can create dangerous opportunities. And they've certainly grown into the half, Everton, no doubt about that. It was a pretty poor opening 30 minutes or so. They just couldn't get enough of the ball. But it's been better, apart from conceding the goal. I mean, there you can see now 50-50 possession. That gap was huge when we first showed you that stat earlier in the half.
Yeah, they've done so much better to keep a little bit of possession, Everton, and they've definitely grew throughout the game. I could sense a little bit of nerves at the start. Maybe it is just playing here at Goodison. We know how much the stadium means to the Everton players and the fans. But ultimately they are 1-0 down going into half-time, and I think the manager will have a lot to say, and they'll want to get back in this game quickly.
Can't afford to go 2-0 down before the break. We are into added time, 3 minutes of it. Mace inside her own area. Steps out of defence. Kitagawa gives it back to Fernandez. Glittering career, Martina Fernandez, 4 Primera Division medals from her time at Barcelona. Ball looking for Vignola or maybe Tony Payne, but neither of them close enough to it. So 2 minutes to go now until the break. Chris Roberts will be largely happy with what he's seen on his return to Goodison Park. I think I mentioned before the match, all of his children were born here in Liverpool whilst he was working here at this club, so the city means a great deal to him. No need to rush here for Nadozi. Good throw towards Rule. Sankovic at the other end of the pitch. In a kind of holding midfield role. Haley down on the deck again. It's been a rough and tumble first half for Madison Haley. Brighton content to try and wind down the clock with this 1-goal lead. Nicely done by Nordam to Sankovic. Time for one more shot, maybe one more chance. Good ball back to Nordam. 20 seconds to go in this first half. Can Brighton put a dagger in the Everton heart? Well, I think you heard one of the Everton defenders, maybe Ruby May, saying she's offside, ref, and that was indeed the decision. So that should be that, I think, for this first half. Brian Sørensen will be thinking about what to say to his players in the dressing room. Brighton certainly had the best of the first half hour or so. Everton then looked dangerous for a spell of a few minutes before Jelena Sankovic put Brighton ahead after good work by Kiko Seke. Tony Payne has been Everton's brightest spark, but it is Everton 0, Brighton 1 at half-time at Goodison Park. Welcome back to Goodison Park on this Friday night. And there is Jelena Sankovic, who has put Brighton 1-0 up as we approach the start of this second half. It should be noted that Brighton have already lost 2 league games this season where they have had the lead. Last time out versus Aston Villa was one of those, but the Seagulls have never lost 3 separate matches from a winning position in the same WSL season. In truth, apart from 1 or 2 slight moments of enterprise from Everton, Brighton didn't really look like conceding in that first half. So I think Brighton will be fairly confident about, at the very least, holding on to this 1-0 lead, if not extending that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Brighton were brilliant in possession in that first half, and I think they won't have been told to do anything differently. I think they'll still be told to play out from the back and keep hold of the ball for as long as possible, but they will have to watch Everton's threats going forward, certainly.
Molly May-Sharp of Crystal Palace alongside me watching this one. You've got a game on Sunday, correct?
I do indeed.
Okay. Against?
Against Durham at home.
Lovely. Confident?
Yeah, always.
Well, that's Sunday. Let's concentrate on Friday night here, and Everton a goal down to Brighton. It would be 6 home defeats in a row for Everton if the score stays like this. So Ruby Mace at the back alongside Martina Fernandez at the heart of that Everton defence, and Kitagawa, one of the Japanese internationals on show out there at left back for Everton. At first glance it doesn't look like we've had any changes out there. So there's a back 4 of Blundell, Kitagawa, Mace and Fernandez. Hayashi, Wheeler, Van Hool, and then actually Payne, Vignola are just a little bit further ahead, with Yuka Mamiki playing through the centre up front. Nadozie back in goal for Brighton, one of 3 changes tonight from that defeat at Aston Villa nearly a fortnight ago. And the first half began with Brighton fully in control for the opening 30 minutes or so. Nordam out to Seke. Nordam going on the overlap. Back to Rule, who is well forward from right back. Bobbling cross, given straight back to Seke. Simons. Well, it's worth a go, but I think that one was high, wide and handsome.
Yeah, Simons was just waiting on the edge of the box there for a while, wasn't she, for a shot coming in, but Seke again does well to win the ball back, and Simons is just leaning back as she takes that one, but good effort from Brighton to start the second half.
So the second half starting in a similar vein to the first, with Brighton on the front foot. Searching ball, looking for Tony Payne, but Venegas has been solid at the back whenever she's been called upon tonight. Payne didn't mean any harm by that little trip, I think an accidental coming together. But that's how you need to play, isn't it, at centre-back against Tony Payne?
Absolutely, yeah. If you let her get a yard on you, then she's going to be gone because she's so fast. So, yeah, she does really well there to win the free kick in the end from Payne.
Manuela Venegas, 25 years old, Colombian international. Played in Spain for Espanyol and then Real Sociedad. Back to Nadozi here. Back in goal for Brighton. Well, that could be a loose header towards Seike. Anna Blundell would have had her heart in her mouth there for a few moments.
Yeah, that's not what you want when you're joining a new team, is it? To set the opposition on the way to scoring a goal.
Inside, inside.
We've not seen a great deal of Blundell, actually. We've mentioned Fernandez and Mace quite a lot, but Blundell, relatively quiet evening for the left-back on loan from Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, because she's currently playing right-back at the moment. I don't know if she just, you know, being a little bit out of position is a little bit different for her, but she's doing okay. She's not really made any big mistakes, but we usually like to see her going forward a little bit more. Maybe she just needs pick up some confidence, get back playing again, regular minutes, you know, after giving birth.
Here is Blundell wearing number 2. Mace happy to receive the ball in her own area, but that's careless. Stankovic, the goal scorer, across to Simons. Good ball to Rule. Rule to Seike. Danger here for Everton. Courtney Brosnan alive to it. Tries to get the attack going quickly again.
Looks like Brosnan's been given the captain's armband now.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
Off Wheeler. Maybe that's just because she's really vocal at the back.
So still just the 1 goal down here at Goodison Park. Forward looking for Vignola. Minami should tidy up. Oh, there's hesitation from Nadozi. Payne! Well, Nadozi recovers, but my goodness me. What was she thinking there?
You could sense it happening, I think. She hesitated, didn't she? And she hasn't got the ball out of her feet at all. Goes with her right foot and she gets down well to save the shot, but really, really bad there from Mendoza.
The challenge that comes in on Payne, we'll see it again here in a moment, I think forces Payne's shot to be quite central rather than actually trying to tuck it in one of the corners.
Yeah, it was good defending, I mean, to get to narrow off that shot, but it's a mistake there.
I mean, should Payne still score there, would you say?
Absolutely, it's an open goal. If you take the shot quickly, it should be a goal.
Corner comes in for Everton. Nadozi punches it just about away. Blundell back to Brosnan. She'll receive the ball back again. Mamicki. Better from Everton. Payne looking for Van Hool. Molly Slagus was alive to it. Nadozi getting the bird from the crowd now, just to put her under an extra bit of pressure. So this is still a contest, still just 1-0. But what a terrible way that would have been for Brighton to let Everton back into this game. Actually just away to the left of our picture has come very deep as well. Oh, Kitagawa this time is the Everton player who gives away the ball. Mace anticipated that well. Van Hall taken down off the ball. Free kick, says referee Oliver Mackey tonight. Fernandez. Looking for options, goes short to Wheeler. Kitagawa back to Fernandez, Van Hall. It's all a bit tight in there. And Brighton win it back. Sankovic, bit of space now for Nordam and Seike. And Brighton have got players charging forward here. Seike into the area. Chipped ball comes to Sankovic, and I don't really think she was fully ready for that.
No, Seike does well again to get the cross in, and I think it was just tough at the back post, wasn't it? But really good from Seike again to get the ball in. But Everton really need to step up here defensively, and Hannah Blundell in there needs to put the ball in a different area, even if it's she puts it out for a corner or a throw-in, because she's put it right back in the path of a Brighton player there and nearly giving up another goal.
It has been a bit sloppy at the back from Everton at times. Seike looking for Kafaji at the back post, and then, yeah, Sankovic just couldn't. It was on her left foot as well. She just couldn't kind of sort out what she wanted to do, really.
Yeah, she's made a great run as Sankovic all the way through, and Hannah Blundell's just put it back in her path, but just comes at her rather fast, doesn't it? And she's not able to get a good connection on it. Brighton
on the attack again. Ollie Slagers to Sankovic. Space over on the right with Rule and Seike. Nordam in space in the area. Here she is. Everton get away with it. Van Hall out to Kitagawa.
Quick, move it, quick. Yes, Lord.
Molly, would you expect any Everton changes before the hour mark, or do you think Brian Sorensen will just leave things as they are for a while longer?
I think he might leave it just how it is for a little bit longer, but you know, you've got the likes of Maz Pacheco on the bench who can come on and put a great ball in the box, maybe to a forward players, and then Isabella Hobson scored in the FA Cup for Everton, so they've got people that they can bring on, but I think the front three at the moment are the ones that are probably going to go on and potentially score in this game, especially if they can get Payne on the ball a little bit more.
Blundell trying to find Payne there, but the pass goes into touch. The referee might be able to hear quietly muttering away in the background, I think telling Brighton to be a bit quicker with the throw-ins, etc., when the ball goes dead. Venegas over to Minami and Rule. Rule's got oceans of space here. Kafaji had made the run in the area, but not found. Here is Kafaji to Seike. Good defence in the end from Everton. And Tony Payne, can she get past Venegas? She wants to give it a go. That is brilliant defending.
Yeah, really good defending from Venegas. She just gets a body in between ball and player there, and she's able to just take it off Payne's feet. Really, really clever defending.
That was kind of Virgil van Dijk-esque, wasn't it? Sort of stayed on her feet and just shepherded Payne out of the way. Oh, lovely ball. And Rule has loads of space again down the right, into Kiko Seike, into the area. Seike, who created Brighton's opener, gets back onto the right foot and wins a corner.
Yeah, Rule had so much space to run into there, didn't she? Brilliant ball out to her, and Seike again making things happen. But I think if Seike does pick her head up in that moment, she's got Kafaji at the back post, unmarked. You know, she's quite tall. She can finish that, but Seike just needs to get her head up just a little bit faster, I think, in that moment.
Well, those action areas there on the graphic will be a headache for this man, Brian Sorensen. His team were under the cosh at the start of this second half. Still only a goal down, but this is a Brighton corner. They've got some height in there, as you can see. Rule, Venegas. Corner comes in. Pretty much over everybody, and Kitagawa heads it away. Bit of a wasted opportunity for Brighton. No real pace or decent direction on the corner.
Yeah, it kind of looked like the corner went to the back post, but all the Brighton players headed to the front post, which, you know, there was nobody at the back post to ultimately get a head on the ball. It looks like Mas Pacheco might be getting ready to come on now.
Yeah, that was the change that Molly predicted a few minutes ago. Pacheco might have felt unlucky not to start. Joined last summer from Aston Villa, where she'd been the club's longest serving player.
Yeah, Maz has been out injured a little bit, so I think just a recovery process maybe just got halted a little bit. But hopefully she can, you know, come on and spice this game up a little bit and see if she can help a team get on the score sheet.
Mace across the 6-yard box to her goalkeeper, Brosnan. Not sure Fernandez wanted that. Across to Kitagawa. Oh, it's gone a bit short. Everton living dangerously. Well taken down by Vignola. Here's Blundell. Everton need to use the ball better in this final third. Tony Payne on the charge. Oh, heavy touch. Falls to Wheeler. Payne gets it back. Burst of pace again. Great defending. Great defending from Ollie Slagers, but it goes out for an Everton corner.
Yeah, Ollie Slagers there getting the goal kick for a team. She's able to get it off T-Payne and just bounces back up against it, doesn't it? But really good defending from Ollie Slagers, yeah, there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Bounce back onto Payne's thigh and away for a goal kick. We're approaching the hour mark, expecting Pacheco, I think, coming on for Kitagawa, we believe, in the next few minutes. The game's still in the balance, despite Brighton's dominance. Unlucky there for Yuka Mamiki. Got past a couple of players, and then an unlucky ricochet. Ladozi in that bright orange goalkeeper's kit. Kafaji. Good ball across to Rule. Simons out to Ollie Slagers. So many of these Brighton players show such great technique. They're all comfortable on the ball.
And you can tell they all trust each other. They play to each other when they're under pressure, and it just creates so much space.
Good turn from Haley. Madison Haley. Will she use Seike? Went for the shot. Got right underneath it.
Yeah, I suppose you can't be mad at her for having a shot there, but was Seike in a better position? Could be argued that, you know, she's in 1v1, but you can't have a go at your striker for having a shot on goal there. She's worked tirelessly all game for a team and put her body on the line several times, so I don't think they'll be too mad at her for having that shot there. It's a shame she got underneath it and it went over.
Confirmation then that here is Mas Pacheco coming on for Kitagawa. Let's see if that can make a difference for Everton. Vignola. Blundell's got to get a bit of pace up here to keep this ball in. Does so. Now, can she get across into the area? Puts it back instead to Van Hool. Great cross from Van Hool into a dangerous area. Pacheco involved straight away. Everton need to make the most of these spells of possession, of pressure. Great closing down from, I think, Sankovic. Well, Kafaji goes for the spectacular. Brosnan was alive to it.
Yeah, that was cheeky, wasn't it, to go for that one in the end, but Brosnan deals with it really cool and calmly and puts it on her chest and is able to get a team playing out from the back.
Again, Everton lose possession in their own half. Claire Wheeler does well to win it back. Blundell back to Brosnan. Brosnan goes across to Pacheco, but that's over the substitute's head.
You can already see how high Maz Pacheco's trying to get, though, on that left-hand side, isn't she? She's trying to push all the teammates up and try and get the ball a little bit higher.
Changes in a moment from Brighton. Let's take another look at the, in the end, actually a reasonably half-hearted attempt from Kafaji. Long way out. But that was confident to even try it.
I think Brighton's pressing tonight has been unbelievably good. They've won so many balls from Everton in their half, and they're just able to get a toe on everything and win the ball back, just like we've seen there.
Absolutely. Here's Kafaji with space on the left. Ruby Mace having to come across. Ollie Slagers getting up in support. Kafaji couldn't get the ball to the back post. There's a tussle in there in the Everton box. Again given away. Minami to Venegas. Sankovic comes inside. Lovely turn. Madison Haley couldn't really get the shot away, closed down by Fernandez, but what a turn that was.
Unbelievable turn from Haley there. She's absolutely sold the defender, and she's shame that touch ran away from her there, isn't it? Because it's really good defending. Really good defending from Fernandez to get over, but that touch from Haley just absolutely sold Ruby Mace.
It's been such a physical match for Madison Haley, but they're showing she's got the skills as well.
It's so good to have somebody like that on your team, though, a striker that, you know, can hold it up, can run in behind, and when you give it to her feet, she's technically so good to be able to create a chance for herself as well, which is so important for Brighton.
Ollie Slagers back to Venegas. You can see Charlize Rule with her hands in the air on the far side. Plenty of space, but so too has Ollie Slagers here. Approaching the final quarter of the match, and the ball comes across to Rule now. Australian defender Charlize Rule. She's had her injury problems, hip and groin issues, kept her out of the Paris Olympics. And as the ball goes dead, we're going to have a double substitution for Brighton now. We think the goal scorer, here she is, Sankovic, is coming off, so we may as well remind you of her goal. It was created by good work from Seike, lovely pullback, and Sankovic did the rest, the Serbian international. That was just before half-time. Sankovic withdrawn and Rachel McLaughlin is on. And also on is Tsunoda. Also going off as well. So Brighton just putting fresh legs out there as well. Here's Tony Payne up against Venegas. Look at the run from Blundell. Can she get on the end of the pass? Well, the two Brighton players nearly took each other out there, but Venegas doing her job, putting the ball out of play, keeping the danger away for the time being. Mace lofts the ball into the area. Nadozie was alive to it. Maybe got a bit lucky with where the ball went from her punch. But
Yep.
At least she was there.
It was a brilliant ball from Ruby Mace. Really, really inviting ball, and they do well to get rid of it, Brighton, but it is put into a place where then you would expect a Brighton kind of midfielder to follow up and come through on the edge of the box.
Take another look, and it's a punch, but at sort of body height, isn't it, from Nadozie, and that could have gone anywhere.
Nadozie does well, I suppose, to get out and punch it, but it does go into quite a vulnerable area in a box. If she doesn't come out, I do think it does go to an Everton player, so it's important that she did that.
Well, that's quite a turnaround in terms of the possession stats. They're obviously still a goal down, which is the most important thing, but the first time we saw that possession stat early in the first half, it was something like 65-66% in favour of Brighton. So Everton have managed to turn that round, but it's what they do with the ball that counts in these closing 20 or so minutes. Need to find an equaliser to avoid 6 home defeats in a row in the WSL.
Just looks as though Mel Lawley was being sent to warm up there as well, so that could be another sub that's for Everton to maybe try and create some more goal scoring opportunities going forwards.
Brighton could certainly do with Venegas being okay to carry on, because she's been brilliant. As I say, Hayley has shown a few different factors of her elements of her play, hasn't she, this evening?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said before, she's a striker that is willing to run in behind. She can get the ball to feet. She's also, like we saw, that turn, she's able to get the ball and take on a defender and get a shot off, but she's really put herself about tonight, as Hayley played really well for her team and led the line really well.
So a stoppage here as Venegas gets treatment. From Dallas, Texas, Madison Hayley. I'm sure this gets mentioned every time she is talked about during a stoppage like this, but her dad, Charles Hayley, won 5 Super Bowls as an American football player. So she's got some sporting pedigree, all right. Played out in Australia for Sydney FC as well, before signing for Brighton. Imagine that, 5 Super Bowls. They get a ring, don't they? I wonder where the rings are kept.
It's just the wrong type of football, isn't it? One for each finger, I suppose.
That's it. Maybe that is actually, you know, a little bit of where Hayley gets the physicality from as well.
Absolutely, I bet that's embedded in, as, you know, a dad that plays American football. I suppose you have to be tough growing up.
We're underway again. Venegas all right to continue, we think, and we'll have just over 20 minutes plus added time. Ball looking for the pace of Payne, but it's too far ahead.
Yeah, that ball's been tried a few times tonight and it's not worked just yet, and I do think Payne is so much more effective when she's playing off the wing. I think her running at a left back or right back from the wing position is so much better than her running onto straight balls that should ultimately end up running through to Nadozie in the goal.
Slagers with the throw. Well,
there it is.
We did talk about the physicality of Madison Hayley. He's shoving Blundell in the back. Fernandez to Pacheco, who's come in off the wing. In fact, it does look like Pacheco's playing in quite an advanced position now, so I wonder if they've swapped things around.
Looks like they're just pushing the full-backs on a little bit higher just to get up the pitch just a tad Everton. They need more possession in Brighton's half at the moment.
Into the final 20 minutes or so. Mamiki, Pacheco had to come back from an offside position.
They are just going down one side, Everton, constantly, and that is ultimately why Brighton are winning the ball backs and not being able to switch it and not moving Brighton's defence at all. They really need to look out, switch through the midfield and get out the opposite side to Payne, really, who's been the one that's caused Brighton the most issues so far in this game.
Still just the 1 goal between them. Everton will keep pushing for this equaliser, no doubt about that. Van Hall trying to find Pacheco. Good defending again from Brighton. Wheeler. Great play from Rule. Knew exactly what Pacheco was going to try and do. Yeah, she was out of action, Charlize Rule, here from December of 2023 until March of 2025. So over a year on the sidelines with hip and groin injuries. Good to see her back out there now. Here's Vignola, who is the kind of player that can create something out of nothing. Across to Blundell. Awkward angle to put a cross in from there. And again, like Molly's saying, really, there's not the same sort of dynamism down the right-hand side. Ball falls to Vignola. Lovely lobbed ball looking for Blundell, who must have a nosebleed being that far forward. Tsunoda to Venegas and across to Minami. Everton are containing Brighton a bit better though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Molly, in the last sort of 10-15 minutes.
Brighton haven't really had a chance, like you say, in the last 10-15 minutes, but for all Everton's possession, they're not getting into Brighton's box or getting any shots off. But I do think it's, you know, building confidence, and the higher up the pitch you can get, obviously the more likely you are of scoring. So I think they are working it really well, and they're getting in some good positions.
Here's another good position potentially. Blundell to Payne, and again, absolutely superb cover from Venegas. Hasn't put a foot wrong so far tonight.
She hasn't. She's been brilliant, Venegas, tonight. But lovely ball from Hannah Blundell, and finally that out to in ball's actually worked, and T-Payne gets on it. She's putting a cross in the box. There's no one actually in there, so maybe in this situation a corner's the best scenario. Get everybody up the pitch, put a good ball in, and maybe have a chance at goal here for Everton.
Corner, just over 15 minutes to go. Everton searching for an equaliser at Goodison Park. Mamiki with the delivery right onto the fist of Nadozi. Pacheco gets the ball back in, but that will be Nadozi's, and the moment's gone for Everton.
Yeah, Nadozi got onto it, didn't she? And it just fell so awkwardly for Wheeler there. I think if it bounces just a little bit before, she could maybe take a shot first time. Another wasted opportunity for Everton in there.
Who do you think is the next most logical substitution for Everton? Who on that Everton bench could change things? We'll come back to that in a moment as Tony Payne bursts into the area. We've seen this before. Unlucky. But yeah, who do you think could mix things up a bit? You mentioned Mel Lawley.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mel Lawley coming back, being recalled from Burnley, I believe, after a loan spell there, and I think she's a really good player. She's got a lot of experience in this league, and she can really pull play together for Everton in this situation.
Well, we're going to have 3 changes, and one of them is Mel Lawley at the back there. One of the very rare group of footballers, male or female, to have moved from Liverpool to Everton. We'll come back to those subs in a moment. Here's Wheeler. Fernandez. I wonder if we'll see Ruby Mace just pushed forward a bit into a more midfield role if it stays 1-0. Clip forward towards Payne. I guess there again. I mean, if you're Brighton here, you will kick yourself if you don't come away with 3 points from this match at this stage. Haley up against Mace, that's a real contest, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruby Mace did really well there to quieten Haley there. She's a really strong player.
Vicky back to Fernandez. Yeah, Ruby Mace seems destined for great things, no doubt about that.
She's been playing at such a high level for a long time as well. She's only going to get better the more that she plays and plays consistently.
Van Hall coming right to the edge of her own area to pick up the ball, now driving forward. Across to Pacheco. Pacheco, really clever ball towards Payne. Nadozi alive to it. And it's a carbon copy really of the first half, isn't it? In that Brighton have started both halves really well, and then Everton have gradually found their feet. Here's Vignola. Oh, that was a great cross. Almost onto the head of Payne, but great defending from Minami and getting pats on the back all round.
Well, she looks like she's struggling after that header, doesn't she, Minami? And I'm not surprised. What an absolute bullet header to get that ball away for a team there. Great defending, and she gets in front of Payne and is able to put that ball out for a corner, but another chance at Everton to put a good ball in the box.
Great pace and whip on that cross. Well played, Minami. So the subs are all happening. Blundell, Wheeler and Van Hall all off. Got Rion Ishikawa and Mel Lawley. Onto the pitch now. Mel Lawley, the one that we think may well make the difference in the closing 10, maybe 15 minutes of this match. Corner for Everton. Mamiki to the near post. Haley it was, I think, back there doing some good defending. Tony Payne out wide, needs to probably get in the box if she can. Mace high up the pitch. Ruby Mace, left-footed cross. Goalkeeper thought about coming. Good defending again from Brighton. Minami again, I think it was. Ball comes into the Brighton area. Powerful header from Venegas. Put out for an Everton throw. The home side need their supporters to just give them a bit of extra impetus here. Chris Roberts, assistant head coach at Brighton, in charge at the moment, whilst Dario Vidicic is away for family reasons. He won't be nervous, but he'll know that Everton, his old club, only need one big chance to potentially grab a draw here, or even more.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I was going to say. You know, if Everton do grab a goal, it's then momentum's with them, and they go try and attack at their home ground at Goodison, where they'll want to score a second.
Good play from Lawley. Can she make an impact straight away as a substitute? Oh, there's confusion back there. What a save! What a save from Nadozi. She's not really had anything to do all match, but she's pulled out a blinding save there from Maz Pacheco.
Yeah, well, it was the subs that create this chance. Mel Lawley, couple of step-overs there, takes it on her right foot and gets a shot off, but Pacheco, what an opportunity, and credit to Nadozi there. What a great save. She gets out so fast, gets her body behind it. She's able to get her gloves on that one and put it out for a corner. Good play from Everton, though. Best chance we've seen so far.
Really quickly out to the feet of Pacheco was Nadozi. Wants that clean sheet. Hayashi will take this corner from the far side. Mel Lawley making an instant impact coming on. Corner goes to the near post. Flicked on by Fernandez. Oh, Tony Payne wanted space for the shot. Ishikawa rather got in the way. But Everton keep the ball, and here's Lawley again. To Payne. Payne against Ollie-Slagers. Kind of fortunate, really, to win a corner.
Yeah, Payne's tried to take her on there, and I think 3 Brighton players have kind of just swarmed her, and she's looking to get a corner in the end. But I do think Mel Lawley should have put that ball in with her right foot. She had 3 runners going in there. But this is a chance, isn't it? She does a step over, gets it on her right foot. It's well blocked, but the chance really is for Pacheco, with Ndozi getting out and getting gloves on it very well for it to stop the goal for a team.
Corner comes in, and Ndozi is there, this time able to hold the ball, doesn't have to punch it away. Yeah, in hindsight, if Pacheco had that chance again, she would just actually sort of dink it over the keeper, wouldn't she? Just lifting it rather than going for power.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really have a lot of time to think, did she, when the ball lands to you in that situation, especially when you've come on as a sub. It is difficult to get in a game. Credit to Ndozi, though, as we said, it's a great save.
So we can't see Pacheco in this picture at the moment. That's because she's miles up the pitch. So I think that is definitely one tactical switch as Everton go looking for this equaliser. And Lawley involved again to Vignola. Oh, that she's sold Pacheco short. Great play again, though, it has to be said. Really calm from Charlize Rule. Haley doing good hold-up work, but loses out to Mamiki. Everton vulnerable on the break, of course, now, but Brighton don't have anyone up there. Well, it's been a good 10-15 minutes or so for Everton, just as it was at the end of the first half. And Lawley has had lots of touches of the ball since she came on. Aurora Ghali, who was the 3rd substitute, who came on a few minutes ago looking for Lawley, but Rule, I think, has got this under control. Well, he is issuing a few instructions. As we said earlier, he is. It's very difficult sometimes to know with Brian Sorensen whether his team are ahead or behind. He doesn't like to be too demonstrative on the touchline.
I think he'll be disappointed. I know both teams will come into this game looking that it's 3 points, you know, that they both want 3 points out of this game. It's definitely a game at the start of the season where you look and you say, that is a game that we can win. So he will be disappointed, especially again at this ground. They want to make a big impact here, and they have to start winning.
And maybe playing more attacking football, would you say, as well?
Yeah, I think obviously the first 20 minutes we saw them really camped in their own area, and obviously they have played so much better in this second half and had the best chances, but they don't really sustain the ball a lot in the final third, which I think is one of their big issues, because they're constantly just trying to get the ball forward, whereas if they were a lot calmer and they trusted each other just that little bit more to play under pressure, they could sustain it in the opposition half a little bit more, which will lead to more opportunities to score.
5 minutes plus added time to go. Vignola. Quickly taken throw into Hayashi. Pacheco right over there on that far touchline now. She's not playing left back anymore, very much a left winger. With Mace in the centre of a 3 now by the looks of it. Here is, oh, it almost fell to Pacheco, but Charlize Rule was there again.
She's just in the right place at the right time, isn't she, Rule?
I think all 4 of the Brighton defenders tonight have had a great game. They've not had, you know, loads to do, but when they've had to do something, they've done it really well. Here's Seike to Haley. Look at Ollie-Slagers down the left. Don't think Haley saw her. Here she is now, though. Wins it back. Ollie-Slagers short to Haley to finish it off. Good save this time from Brosnan. Tight angle for Haley. Back to Sonoda, who scored in the last WSL match against Aston Villa. Everton regain possession. Good ball to Vignola. A soft free kick maybe, given Brighton's way. The Everton players don't like it. Mordan gets back to her feet. Not sure there was much in that.
No, I don't think there was much contact, but just before that, you know, we saw that chance from Brighton. Ollie Slagers does really well to slide Haley there, and it's just again, the keeper gets out so quick and is able to get gloves on it, but another good chance for Brighton. And Everton need to get the ball up the pitch in this last few minutes if they have any chance of getting anything out of this game.
Yes, time is ticking away for Everton. The clock's about to tick round to 88 minutes. There'll be a couple of minutes of added time, but not much, I don't think. What they can't do is lose the ball there inside their own half. It's fallen to Vignola. Hayashi through to Payne. Good defending again in the goalkeeper. Part of that coming out quickly to clear.
Yeah, I really like that Ndozie plays really front-footed in that goal. She's helped her team out quite a lot, and sometimes situations like that can get a bit sticky, but she's out, she's taking control, and she's getting rid of that ball.
She's a sweeper keeper, really, isn't she? They play so high up the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it does make you a little bit vulnerable on the turnover, you know, for the chip like we saw earlier, but it really helps the defence, because they can then play a little bit higher if you know that your keeper's basically playing as a low centre-back as well.
Clever ball from Tsunoda out to Rule, who not for the first time has lots and lots of space to run into. Gives it away. Into the corner from Minami, and there'll be substitutions for both teams. On the right there, Carla Camacho is coming on for Brighton, and on the left, Kenzie Weir. Kenzie Weir coming on for Everton, who is a centre-back, really. Daughter of David Weir, who captained the men's Everton team in the early noughties. We think there's been a bit of an error with the numbers on the board there, but anyway, Camacho is definitely on.
I know, I thought Maz Pacheco was coming off there.
I did have to do a double take myself there. I thought that was going to be incredibly harsh.
Would have been harsh. She's done well since she's come on as Maz Pacheco.
Camacho for Brighton, signed last August from Real Madrid. Yuka Mamiki going off at Kenzie Weir. So those will probably be the last substitutes of the match. 4 minutes of added time. 4 minutes for Everton to find an equaliser. 4 minutes for Brighton to hold on. Maybe look to grab another goal. A game-sealing goal on the break. Mace goes long, diagonal, looking for Pacheco. Dealt with by McLaughlin. Madison Haley thought she was being held there. Referee waves it away. We've already had one of those 4 minutes, so Everton need to get this ball forward quickly. And will do, I would have thought, under Mace. Aurora Ghali trying to turn away. Gets a free kick. Taken quickly to Payne. Tony Payne on the left-hand side now. Fernandez. That was the touch of a defender there, wasn't it? To Mace. Mace cuts inside. Ruby Mace. Whoa. I thought we were going to see something special there.
Yeah, she does well to get it through the midfield there, Ruby Mason. She's getting a bit higher up the pitch now.
Here's Ishikawa on the right-hand side. Good ball in. Look at the number of Everton shirts in that box now. It's throwing the kitchen sink time at Brighton. Fernandez out wide to Pacheco. Space for the cross. Nadozi chooses to punch or really parry away with the palm of her hand. Look forward to Camacho, who has just come on. Camacho will be told to just hang on to the ball, hold it up to Sonoda. Brighton don't need to do anything reckless here. Ollie Slagers out to Haley. Oh, Pacheco in quickly, but couldn't get past McLaughlin. Inside to Nordam. That's going to come through. Is it to Brosnan? It does in the end. We've only got just over a minute to go at Goodison Park on this Friday night. Fernandez just telling her teammates to just get forward.
Forward, move it.
Everton aren't going to score from back here. Need to get the ball into the Brighton half. Ishikawa down the channels, looking for Tony Payne. Back to Lawley. Well, if Nadozi just holds on to this for as long as she can, we'll have about 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, it was a good ball to Payne, wasn't it? But she wasn't able to make anything of it in the end, and Everton have their backs against the wall again here.
Superb defending from Ruby Mace again, strides forward. Maybe time for just one final attack. Pacheco. Kenzie Weir through the centre. Lawley getting into the box as well. Pacheco, no, not this time. McLaughlin up to Camacho. And the referee blows the final whistle. There are boos at Goodison Park, because Brighton have beaten Everton by a goal to nil. We saw the goal scorer there. Sankovic, the Serbian international, scoring just before half-time. It was a match, really, that Brighton dominated for large spells. Everton created very few chances, and Sankovic here on the mark on 41 minutes after good work by Kike Seke just before the break. Means it finishes in the WSL on this Friday night. Everton 0, Brighton 1. So Sankovic here taking the plaudits, her name on the score sheet. Another 3 points for Brighton, another home defeat for Everton. How would you sum things up, Molly May-Sharp? Because Everton huffed and puffed and showed a lot of good defending, but just couldn't find anything special in the attacking third. Yeah,
well, I think Brian Sorensen's going to be disappointed with that result. I think it's a game coming in that Everton wanted to win, obviously, and I think for all Everton's good defending, it was just one moment of brilliance from Seke and Kanovic, wasn't it? But hats off to Brighton for the way that they defended throughout the game. I thought they were absolutely brilliant and created some amazing goal-scoring opportunities through a lot of the forward play, but Everton, disappointing night for them, and another disappointing result at Goodison Park.
You can definitely see how dejected the Everton players are, particularly Ruby Mace there, who's had another great match, albeit ending up on the losing side. Let's take a look at these stats. Brighton leading the way on pretty much all of them. You can see, if you're a fan of XG, a very low XG for both sides, really, and that tells a big story. The key passes there in the attacking third percentage, both in Brighton's favour, which makes sense. But yeah, you can see the Everton players particularly dejected, because they might not come into a season expecting to get anything from the teams that finished in the top four last season. But from Brighton down last season, Everton maybe would have fancied their chances of getting a few wins on the board. It wasn't to be tonight. And let's look back at some of the best bits of that 90 minutes. Take you back into the first half, and this was a rare attack from Everton in the first 45 minutes. Tony Payne doing this for the first time She would do it another couple of occasions as well, wouldn't she, Molly?
She would indeed, yeah. She did it all game, and I think that's probably where Everton missed out the goal-scoring opportunities, not flooding the box and getting plenty of players in them. Really good cross the box crosses.
It was Kitagawa sliding in, couldn't quite get on the end of it, but at the other end, here's the Brighton goal. Good work from Kiko Seike. Nice cut back to Sankovic, and Sankovic really couldn't miss. Shot does come off an Everton player before it goes into the net, but it's Sankovic's goal, no doubt about that. It
really was on a plate for Sankovic, wasn't it? Great play from Brighton. They got in and they were able to put the team 1-0 up, and what an important goal it's turned out to be in this game.
So into the second half, and well, this was almost of Brighton's own making. Tony Payne given the ball by Nadozi, who, in fairness to her, does well to get back and make the save. That would have been criminal from a Brighton point of view to have conceded an equaliser in that manner. Brighton weren't without their opportunities themselves in the second half, though. Again, Seike involved. Ball falling to Sankovic, maybe just a little bit too unexpectedly from Blundell. This was absolutely brilliant forward play, Molly.
Yeah, the turn from Hayley there is absolutely brilliant, and it's just a shame the touch got away from her, but she absolutely saw Ruby Mace, and it's good defending in the end, and Brosnan gets hands on it.
Now, this was towards the end of the match with substitutes on the pitch. Lawley, the ball falls to Pacheco, cracking save.
It was a cracking save, she got out so fast, and that was probably Everton's best chance in the game, dare I say it. Fallen to Pacheco.
It was time for one more Brighton chance, but Brosnan, the Everton goalkeeper, narrowing the angle to Hayley.
Yeah, now I'm looking back on it, I think Hayley should have probably squared that ball, because I think there were two Brighton players unmarked, but, you know, the striker, she's going to take the shot on, isn't she?
And the Brighton players still out on the pitch at Goodison Park. They have a really healthy number of travelling fans have come up to Merseyside to watch them tonight. And they deserve to take the applause and give it back as well to their travelling fans. Chris Roberts will be a happy man returning to Everton, where he had a number of years as assistant coach. He had a spell as an interim boss here at Everton a number of years ago, and he's been handed the reins in unexpected fashion here at Brighton, with Dario Vidicic away for personal reasons for a while. But he's so well respected by the players, Chris Roberts. And there you have the Brighton fans who I'm guessing maybe making a weekend of it in Liverpool, and their weekend has started very well indeed. And we talked about, didn't we, before the match, Molly, how having finished 5th last season, currently being in 8th, maybe there'll be actually slight disappointment at the way the season's going so far. That could all change with, you know, with a good run in the cup, etc. But Brighton, it feels like, should be a stronger team than they are showing at the moment.
Absolutely, they're a brilliant team, really good in possession, defensively very strong. I think they've got the back four, and they know, you know, they're confident with each other. And I think that the result last season, coming 5th, was really good for Brighton, don't get me wrong, but they will just want to build on that and build momentum into games, cup runs, and get a few more wins in the WSL towards the end of this season. I think they'll want to finish as high as they possibly can.
And at this time of year, for all the teams, you know, the transfer window is open, so you never know who might come in the next couple of weeks. It feels like Everton might benefit from one or two more new faces. That's nice to see, isn't it? The fans getting time with the players over there. There are some warm-looking jackets.
No, I think I want one of them ones.
So it has finished Everton 0. Brighton 1. Let's get some post-match reaction with our reporter Steve Bennett.
Yelena, congratulations, solid performance. What pleased you about your team today?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just happy to win the game and win 3 points away, which is really important. And yeah, I think we really controlled the game first 20-25 minutes. Then we lost a bit of control, but I think we still kept the composure, kept the clean sheet, and yeah, out of one good pressing moment, we scored a goal, which is really important. And yeah, just happy to win and win 3 points.
Was that the plan? Lots of possession?
Yeah, I mean, we want to have the ball as much as possible, of course, but we want to be also really aggressive and a high-pressing team. But then it's also important that if the other team has a momentum, that we just keep the composure, be compact, and keep the clean sheet, which we did today. And yeah, we just need to be ready for all types of moments that happen in a game. And yeah, I'm just really pleased that we did that today.
Scored a goal at a crucial time, just before half-time as well. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that I could contribute and score a goal. As I said, it was really good pressing moment and good from Kiko to win the ball high. And then, of course, when we win it that high, we can score quick, and yeah, just a good assist. So for me, it wasn't that hard to score because it was really good work from Kiko. But yeah, as I said, just happy to score and yeah, to come away with 3 points.
And as a result of that goal, you are the Barclays Player of the Match. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A good evening's work for Jelena Stankovic, the goal scorer tonight.